Hi, I'm Liz Boland, District Vet with the North Coast Local Land Services. Here on the North Coast, we experience very favourable weather conditions, with our mild winters making us the envy of some of our more southern counterparts. However, we can experience periods of extreme heat, and it's at times like this that heat stress in cattle can occur. So how does heat transfer occur in cows? Conduction, the transfer of heat through physical contact. Convection produces cooling if there is a high enough temperature difference. Radiation, emission of heat to and from the cow and surroundings, directly from the sun or from re-radiation from hot ground, fences and buildings. And of course, evaporation, which is heat lost through sweating and breathing. Compared with other animals, cattle cannot dissipate their heat load very effectively. So what are some of the behaviours that cattle might show to indicate that they are feeling hot? Standing up to increase airflow around their body. Standing in cool drinking water to lose heat via their hooves. Standing where there is a breeze. Seeking shade or positioning themselves away from the sun when no shade is available. However, at temperatures above 27 degrees Celsius, cattle actually begin to endure physiological stress trying to deal with their heat load. Once air temperature exceeds a cow's body temperature, heat transfer can only occur via evaporation. Air temperature is generally lower than a cow's body temperature at around 38 degrees. And it's temperatures higher than this that heat stress can occur. Signs of heat stress in cows include an increased respiratory rate, panting, open mouth breathing, a decrease in feed intake as the process of eating actually produces more heat. All of these things indicate that a cow is having to regulate their body temperature, especially in circumstances when they can't cool down using either shade or water. So what are some of the things that producers can do to help minimise the effects of hot weather on their cattle? The most obvious thing that producers can provide for their cattle is shade. Trees or physical shade structures are both great means of providing shade to cattle. The most important thing being is that the shade produced is big enough to provide all of the animals with sufficient shade. The recommended area is between 6 to 12 metres square per animal of shade. If it's a physical structure, such as a shed, it really needs to be around 8 feet so that it doesn't impede airflow. On hot days, consider moving cattle to paddocks with more tree coverage. Another really important strategy is providing cool and clean drinking water. Remembering to allow for 200 to 250 litres of water per cow per day in hot weather, which is actually double of the daily requirements for a cow. Cleaning out water troughs and dams will also encourage adequate intakes in hot weather because, just like us, they prefer to drink clean water too. Other considerations in hot weather are the potential blooms of the highly toxic blue-green algae. If you are unsure about the quality of your stock water, here at LLS, we highly recommend having your water tested for its suitability to be used for livestock. Other considerations are coat colour. Black-hided animals are at an increased risk of heat stress when exposed to solar radiation. Fat animals have a harder time expressing heat through their skin. And of course, systemic illness, as any form of respiratory disease can compromise an animal's ability to exhale heat effectively. So what all of this means is that all farms should have a plan in place for the management of their cattle in hot weather. So monitor your local weather forecasts. Anticipate upcoming heat events. Ensure that you have adequate shade and water available. Postpone any non-urgent management procedures. Or if you must undertake cattle work, ensure it's done as early in the day as is possible, making sure that the maximum time that they're held in an enclosed area is no longer than 30 minutes. And don't forget about the working dogs. Make sure they are not left out on hot ute trays out of the shade. Perhaps consider giving them an extra dish of cool water on really hot days. For more information on heat stress in cattle, contact your local district veterinarian at your local land services office.